Welcome to the City of Pinellas Parks City Council meeting. Our city offers superior parks, premium recreational services, exceptional public safety resources, optimal investment opportunities, and more. Our mayor and city council welcomes you to tonight's meeting.
Sit back and enjoy.
Good evening. It is Tuesday, November 22nd. The time is 6 p.m. Calling to order our city council meeting. We will have an invocation and pledge of allegiance, so please rise if you wish. Heavenly Father, we ask that you guide us this evening as we go over the agenda that is before us. We also ask that you lay special healing to those who are in need. We ask that you help all of us be mindful of Thursday, with it being Thanksgiving, and being thankful for our business community, our citizens, and our employees. Not only then, but every day. We ask that you watch over our military and their families, whether they are here or overseas, and those that are in need, lay healing hands on them. In thy name we do pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Simply centered.
Miss Lizzie. And our wonderful chamber members, please come up. Whereas the City of Pinellas Park celebrates our local small business and the contribution they make to our local economy and community. There are 32.5 million small businesses in the United States. Small businesses represent 99.7% of the firms with paid employees. Small businesses are responsible for 62% of the new jobs that are created since 1995. And small businesses employ 46.8% of the employees in the private sector. 79% of the consumers understand the importance of the support of small businesses and their communities on Small Business Saturday. 70% of them make that day to make sure that they shop small, independent-owned retailers, and 66% report that they make that day that they want to do not only then, but all year long. 58% of the shoppers report that they shop online with small businesses, and 54% report that they dine or order out takeout food from small restaurants, bars, and cafes every Saturday since 2021. Whereas the City of Pinellas Park supports our local small businesses and appreciate the fact that they have created jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our communities. Whereas advocacy groups, as well as the public and private organizations across the country, have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Therefore, I, Sandra Lee Bradbury, Mayor of the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, and on behalf of our entire City Council, do hereby proclaim November 26th of 2022 as Small Business Saturday, and urge our citizens to support the small business and merchants on Small Business Saturday throughout the year. And witness, I set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, to be affixed on the 22nd day of November of 2022. And I want to say thank you to all of our small business community. And with us, we have chamber members tonight, as well as Miss Lizzie, who helps coordinate all of these efforts. So, thank you. are welcome. And give you guys an opportunity to
No, you're all good.
It's all me? All right. Well, on behalf of the Pinellas Park Gateway Chamber of Commerce, especially our small businesses, we thank you, Sandra Bradbury, Mayor Bradbury, and of course our amazing City Council, our police department, our fire department. We're so privileged to have amazing city folks here that have supported us along the way. COVID times have not been easy for anybody. Of course, we look around now, we go out to the stores and everything, we forget where we were 2 years ago. But it was hard. It was hard for our small businesses. And I'll tell you what, our city of Pinellas Park stepped up. It really supported our businesses and have been able to make them flourish. So thank you so much for all you've done and all you continue to do for our businesses. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have the picture coming up. This right here is Fred.
Dinner.
He is at our agricultural farm, and it has been a tradition in the United States to pardon a turkey. So I wanted to start that tradition since we've started our new ag farm and make sure that Fred is pardoned and that Fred will get to live out his days on the ag farm. He's actually a wonderful turkey. He greets the visitors that come to
He's so sweet.
the agricultural farm. And I did a little research because all of us know that the presidents have been pardoning turkeys, but not so much. The White House has been involved with turkey pardons since 1970. The tradition actually in 1940 was for the National Turkey Federation to bring a turkey from the chairperson's local state to the White House. But in the 1940s, they didn't pardon the turkey. The turkey was dinner for the president and staff. They actually didn't start pardoning the turkey until 1970. And since we have a wonderful agricultural farm with turkeys on the farm, I wanted to make sure that our Fred, the turkey, was pardoned and have a wonderful life and as one of our ambassadors over at the agricultural farm. And I encourage our citizens and our school community to go out and take a tour, to be involved in learning more about the agriculture. And it actually is a city history here. If you look back in our history, we actually grew sugarcane, which they turned into molasses and sold. So we had orange groves here. So we want to make sure that the next generation knows how important it is to have agriculture in their lives. So we just want to say thank you, and thank you to Fred for being a wonderful ambassador.
Now, is that turkey pardoned forever or for
Forever.
till next Thanksgiving?
No, forever. And from what I understand, we have some other little baby turkeys that are there that are going to be growing up on the farm as well.
Sandra, we used to have a lot of farms there too. We had Bryan Dairy, Sarkey Dairy, all those big dairy farms around.
Dairy farms, absolutely. Thank you for reminding everybody about that. So. And I hope everybody enjoyed the fact that we're pardoning a turkey here in Pinellas Park as well. So, we do not have any quasi judicial items, do we? I don't.
We do.
We do,
Item
okay.
P3.
Oh, yes, okay, that's correct. Well, may I have, before we start that, is there any citizens that would like to come up and speak this evening on anything that is not on our agenda? Seeing none. Now, can I have staff and anybody who wants to talk on item P2 and P3, please rise and be sworn in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Section 2, approval of minutes. Councilmember Butler.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve the regular council minutes of November 10th, 2022 is on file in the city clerk's office.
Second.
The motion has been made and second. Any discussion on the minutes from November 10th? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
That's it, 10.
Moving on to Section 3, public hearings, item P1.
Item P1 is ordinance number 4173, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, pertaining to planning and zoning application fees and charges, amending Chapter 18 Land Development Code by amending Section 18-1501.31, providing for the inclusion of such amended ordinance in the code of the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P1, ordinance number 4173, public hearing, second and final reading. I am opening the public hearing and turning it over to Erica.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. I'm Erica Lindquist, Planning and Development Services Director, and here to present case number LDC 0722-00006. The request is to amend Section 18-1501.31 of the city's Land Development Code to change the administrative fees and charges associated with planning and zoning applications. And a lot of this information is repeated from a workshop that you had a few months ago. If you remember, the most recent update to the planning and development services fees was in 2010. The issues that we're having is the current fees are not covering the city's costs. In some cases, we are actually even losing money with each application. And we did some research and found that our fees were significantly lower than 5 other local jurisdictions. We are proposing to raise our fees, but still have the lowest fees in the area. So this is going to be the same list presented at the workshop with the additions of a vacation of right-of-way, vacation of easement, and the changes that City Council suggested. So the first is alcohol license approval, proposing a fee of $100. Variance or waiver with board approval, $250 for residential, $500 commercial. Variance or waiver administrative approval would be $50 for residential, $200 commercial. Conditional use board approval would be $500. Conditional use administrative approval would be $250. Future land use map amendment, $1,500 is the proposed fee. Rezoning, also $1,500. The land use map amendment with a rezoning would be $2,500. A new PUD or a major PUD amendment, $1,500. Preliminary plat, $1,000. Final plat, $700. Lot line adjustment that requires board approval would be $150. Preliminary site plan review that requires board approval, we're proposing $1,000. Preliminary site plan resubmittal of $500, and preliminary site plan that's administrative, $500. Preliminary site plan resubmittal that's administrative review is $250. Final site plan review board approval, $500. The final site plan review with administrative approval, $125. A development agreement proposed fee is $1,500. Zoning letter, $75. And these are the 2 that we added. Vacation of easement, $250 proposed fee. It currently is $155. The county charges $750 for that, and other jurisdictions average at $853. The vacation of right-of-way, we're proposing $500 fee. Our current fee is $255. Again, the county charges $750 for this one. Other jurisdictions are averaging at $978, so we'd be quite a bit lower. Staff recommends approval of this amendment to the LDC, number LDC 0722-000006. And on October 6th, the Planning and Zoning Commission also recommended approval.
Thank you, Erica. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions on this item? City Council have any questions on this item? Councilmember Mullins?
I'm ready to make them.
Okay. I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion by Councilmember Mullins.
Yes, Mayor, I make a motion that we pass ordinance number 4173, public hearing, second and final reading.
Second.
Motion has been made in second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Item P2, ordinance number 4174.
Ordinance number 4174, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a master plan and supporting documentation for a commercial planned unit development CPUD overlay with underlying general commercial B1 zoning on 1.68 acres of land generally located at 11150 66th Street North. Parcel numbers 18-30-16-6301-000-0010 and 18-30-16-6301-000-0020, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P2, ordinance number 4174, public hearing, second and final reading. This is quasi-judicial. I am opening the public hearing and turning it over to Erica.
Thank you again. I'm Erica Lindquist, Planning and Development Services Director, and we have two cases that will be presented together, PUD 0722-00014 and CU 0722-00023. The request for the PUD is a commercial PUD. It would be to develop a three-story, 39,675 square foot research and development facility, and that would be with a reduction in parking from the required 96 spaces to 88 spaces. The conditional use would be to increase the allowable structure height from 50 feet to 65 feet. And the applicant is Belcher Pharmaceuticals. The property is at the corner of 66th Street and Bryan Dairy Road. It is zone general commercial B1. The land use is also general commercial CG. The north end of the property is in flood zone X, which is a low-risk flood zone, and the rest of the property is in X shaded, which is a moderate-risk flood zone. So here's some photos of the site. This was formerly O'Neill's Boat Sales. This business closed sometime in 2019, and the property has since been vacant. And there is the existing building, and here is the proposed building. So this elevation shows the proposed design of the building. As I said, it would be 3 stories and total height 65 feet at the highest point. Approximately 1/3 of the building would be research labs, 1/3 would be offices, and 1/3 would be storage of pharmaceutical products. Here is the proposed site plan and a summary. The CPUD it is for a 1.68 acre parcel. It is going to be, as I said, pharmaceutical research labs, office space, and storage. The maximum floor area ratio for this land use is 0.55, and the applicant is proposing an FAR of 0.54. Parking spaces, 96 are required per the city's code. The applicant is proposing to reduce the parking to 88 spaces, and that is to be able to meet the conditional use criteria of increased setbacks. The Institute of Transportation Engineers Manual would require 86 spaces for this property, which is a little less than what the applicant's proposing. The conditional use, it is a conditional use for height, buildings, and structures over 50 feet in the B1 zoning district. And it requires review by Planning and Zoning Commission, approval by City Council, and that all setback requirements shall be increased by 50%, and that criteria has been met. There are a couple easements on the property. The northern easement there shown in green is a platted ingress-egress easement. The easement to the south, shown there in orange, is a private 15-foot ingress-egress easement. That northern easement would be automatically vacated when they replat the property, of which they are required to do. And the easement to the south, that one runs with the land, and it must be executed by the current property owners. So the proposed PUD is consistent with the intent of the Land Development Code. The facility would meet comprehensive plan intensity requirements. The request to reduce required parking could provide the space needed for those increased setback requirements. The proposed conditional use for height meets all of the criteria, and the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan. Staff recommends approval of this case, of both of these cases. And on October 6th, the Planning and Zoning Commission also recommended approval of both cases. They recommended the following conditions. Basically that they do vacate the easements as we discussed, one via plat and one via legal instrument. And Planning and Zoning Commission also requested an auto turn exhibit or study from Waste Management in regard to the orientation of the proposed dumpster enclosure. And I will show you that here. The highlighted in green is where they're proposing to put the dumpster. The Planning and Zoning Commission was concerned that at that angle, the Waste Management trucks would not be able to get in and out. I know the applicant is here and they might be able to discuss that a little bit, but that is why they just asked for an auto turn exhibit or a study on that. And that is it. I am here for questions.
Does City Council have any questions for Erica? When we were upstairs at the workshop, I did ask the fire department to make sure that we had adequate equipment for the increased height of the building, which they believe they have sufficient for that. And that was my main concern when we were discussing it upstairs. So, would the applicant like to come forward and speak on this item?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, City Council. My name is Joseph Bellucci with JVB Architect. I'm the architect on the project. And R.R. Simmons, as you see on the screen, is the design build contractor. I'm here speaking on behalf of Belcher Pharmaceuticals. Just want to make this quick and short, and just want to thank you very much. Belcher Pharmaceuticals is very excited about this project, and all the conditions that were discussed by Erica, our intent is we are currently working through the easements as well as the dumpster orientation. That's an easy fix. It really could, it's just rotating it 1 or 2 degrees to satisfy the auto turn and the waste management concerns. With that said, thank you again. I just really want to thank you. We appreciate consideration, and if you have any questions for me, let me know.
City Council have any questions of the client?
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion. Councilmember Butler?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion we pass ordinance number 4174 for public hearing, second and final reading.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Moving on to item P3, which is the companion piece.
Item P3 is consideration of a request for a conditional use approval to increase structure height from 50 feet to 65 feet located at 11150 66th Street North.
Thank you. Item P3 is public hearing, first and final reading. It is also quasi-judicial. I am turning it over to Erica just in case there's any additional information to add.
I am Erica Lindquist, Planning Development Services Director. Do not have any additional information for you on this case, but I am available for questions.
Thank you.
And you'll incorporate the presentation provided on the last public hearing into this public hearing for the
Yes,
record?
yes, I will. I will incorporate that into the record.
Our legals. Public hearing is opened. Does the architect have any additional information to add? He is shaking his head no for the record. Anybody in the audience that has any questions? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion by Councilwoman Reed.
I make a motion that we approve CU-0722-00023 public hearing quasi-judicial.
Second.
Motion has been made in second. Any discussion by City Council? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item P4, resolution number 22-29.
Resolution number 22-29, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, approving the Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, CAPER, authorizing staff to submit the report to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P4, resolution number 22-29, public hearing, first and final reading. I am opening the public hearing and turning it over to Paulette.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Staff is requesting authorization to submit the report, the Consolidated Annual Evaluation Report, the Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, also known as the CAPER, to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD. The CAPER is due 90 days after the end of our program year, which Pinellas Park falls under a October 1st to September 30th program year. So ours ended September 30th, so it's due by December 30th in order to receive our funding in the future. So we are coming forth to ask for permission to go ahead and submit that report. I believe it's already been given to you to review. It details all of our activities that we've done for the past year with all of our CDBG funding. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions, City Council? No. Anybody in the audience that has any questions on this?
Just a comment. Thank you for getting it done in a timely manner.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Just an example, these funds are used for sidewalks, to bring things into ADA compliance with sidewalks, things of that nature
Yes, ma'am.
throughout the community.
Yes, ma'am. We have plans for, I'll be at the next council meeting. You'll see me there with several sub-amendments that we're going to do to get our activities going with funds from previous years going forward, where we're going to do some public facilities and infrastructure projects. And they can also be used for public services and slums and blight too, as well.
Thank you. Well, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion by Councilwoman Reed.
I make a motion that we adopt resolution number 22-29, public hearing, first and final reading.
Second.
Motion's been made in second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Moving on to section 4, consent agenda item C1.
Item C1 and C2 are authorization for the City of Pinellas Park to accept a drainage and maintenance easement from Everest Realty 12 LLC at 3410 Gateway Center Parkway. Item C3 is ordinance number 4175, an ordinance of the City of Pinellas Park amending section 1, 6, 7, and 8 of ordinance number 4169, an appropriation and tax levy ordinance of the City of Pinellas Park, providing for repeal of all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. Item C4 is ordinance number 4176, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, repealing ordinance numbers 3193 and 4063 in their entirety by creating a new ordinance authorizing travel by city officials and employees, establishing rates for reimbursement of expenses incidental to such travel, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date. And that concludes tonight's consent agenda.
Thank you. Councilwoman Reed?
Thank you. Mayor Bradbury, regarding the consent agenda, I would like to make a motion to pass, approve, or adopt whichever action is appropriate. Items C1 through C4, inclusive with items C3 and C4 being first reading prior to public hearing. The next public hearing will be held in council chambers on Thursday, December the 8th, 2022 at 6 p.m.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion by City Council on items C1 through C4? Seeing none. Anybody in the audience that has any questions on these items? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Section 5 is regular agenda items, and we do not have anything. So moving on to Section 6, comments from City Council and staff.
I'll go first. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and how everybody has a happy Thanksgiving, and check on your neighbors. Make sure that everybody has their needs, and if anybody does know somebody that needs something, reach out, even to anybody, and help them, because this is kind of a crazy time for people. But thanks to all of our staff and everybody for making it an amazing city to work for. I just went to Kansas City and froze to death. I have no idea why we go to meetings north of Florida in November. But it was a really good time, and I was very proud to get to represent our city, and it was super cool. Super cool, so thank you. I'm blessed to be part of the city and get to represent it, so thank you.
Councilman Butler.
Yeah, it was a great trip to, where'd we go?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City.
Boy, was it cold, 11 degrees. Man, I wore socks one day, that's how cold it was. And it was great, great programs, seen some neat stuff maybe we're going to be able to follow up on. And it's a very good trip. I hope everybody has a very nice Thanksgiving, no drama. No Uncle Eddie's coming over drinking your wine. You know, just a great time, I hope, for everybody. So, that's it. I'm coming to your house.
You come on. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you. Ms. Lana.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. Yes, I have a few announcements. Of course, for a full list of all of our events and activities going on, you can go to pinellas-park.com and visit our calendar. And we'll also have a list running after the show. But just to highlight a couple things, the city and the brush site and library will be closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving holidays, and there will be no trash pickup on Thursday. For Saturday block party, that's happening Saturday, November 26th, beginning at 4 p.m. in the Arts Village. And then, of course, we have our 7th annual tree lighting ceremony here at City Hall, Friday, December 2nd. That begins at 5:30, and then immediately following, we have Holiday in the Park. And that'll be at England Brothers Park, and then it's going on Friday and Saturday. That's all I have. Thank you so much. Happy
Got a
holidays.
parade coming up. Parade, December 10th, isn't it?
parade,
Yeah, something like that. Christmas.
Oh, yes, we do have the Christmas parade on December 10th. And I'll have a lot more information at the next 2 council meetings.
Great.
Ms. Angela, do you have any wonderful news?
I do. Well, thank you for mentioning the farm. I will say, sadly, the staff at the farm had prior commitments. They are already campaigning for Ethel for next year.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
But just a reminder that the farm also does not have visiting hours on Thanksgiving Day or the Friday after. However, the farm will be open for visitors on Saturday after Thanksgiving between 10 and 2, and we know folks might have company in town and such, so please feel free to stop by the farm for a little visit. And a reminder, too, about the holiday hayride at Forbes on December 8th. So that'll be something before we meet again, or right around then.
So everybody gets to have fun riding on the hay rides while we're having council meetings.
Yes, I know the timing of that was off. The senior center also does one, though, so folks could catch on to the next one.
Thank you. Chiefs.
Yeah, this morning I got the pleasure of going to the local 2193 Pinellas Park firefighters. They did their Thanksgiving Day shopping for 10 families this morning at Publix at 49th and Park, which was really nice. They delivered all the meals, the dinners for Thanksgiving. When I was talking with Jason Pickett, who runs the Benevolent Fund down there, they only have a few families that have signed up so far for the Christmas toy giveaway drive. So they have plenty of toys. So if anybody knows any families in need, please give a call to the fire administration or stop by. They can sign up. 727-369-5803. They're taking sign-ups through, I believe it was December 2nd for that. So, and I know the Lillman Fire Department, who we also partner with, is doing the same thing, and they also have a very few families that have signed up this year, which I hope is a really good thing. I really do. But I know there's a lot of people, a lot of kids out there in need that may not get toys this year, so they're here to help them out.
Happy anniversary to 2193.
Oh, that's true. It's the 50th anniversary for Local 2193. Thursday, this past Thursday, last week, they celebrated out at OCC. It was a great thing.
They knew I was out of town. That was probably...
Yeah, it was packed because they had the bike fest. That was the first night of the bike
Wow, cool.
out there, so it was pretty packed, but they had a good time.
Good evening. On December 17th, the police department's going to be hosting its annual Shop with a Cop out at Walmart at 10:30 in the morning. We are still accepting donations from any members of the community who would like to help out with that event. They can just simply call the police department, 369-7864, and let us know they want to donate, and we'll have someone contact them and make those arrangements. But always looking forward to that event. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I did want to say thank you for recognizing the small businesses, and it's really this year, yeah, go out and support your small business on Fridays and Saturdays or shop online with local. It's Kansas City, they did a really cool thing, and everything that was there, all the vendors, everything was from local businesses and food, and they had a marketplace, and it was cool. So I know our city supports small business, and I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Want to thank staff and our citizens and our church for helping us celebrate my mom, and wish everybody a wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving. And the meeting is adjourned. We will actually see you on December 1st because we have a special council meeting, and everybody be blessed until we meet again.